Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
I've worked on Wall Street during the financial crisis, right? There were hordes of people after Lehman crash. They were all going to business schools because they said this is a great opportunity because it's going to be a longer recovery. So I think you've got to keep investing in yourself.
Imagine a B school that stresses creating global leaders who are sensitive towards protecting the environment and are passionate about bringing change in society. In today's day and time, this is a unique pedagogy that Universal Business School, located amidst the lush green surroundings near Karjat, follows. I welcome Tarun Anand, founder of Universal Business School, who started his career as a door-to-door salesperson and never looked back since then. We also have Vijay Tandon, Director of PGDM and International Programs at UBS, to make us understand what makes UBS special for creating leaders of tomorrow. Welcome both of you, and thanks for having this conversation with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Tarun, to begin with, you have worked with companies like HSBC, Standard Chartered, Thomson Reuters, before you decided to found Universal Business School in 2009. First of all, the decision to found a business school in the time when there was a recession looming, and a background which has HSBC, Standard Chartered and Thomson Reuters. How did this happen?
I started, as you said, door-to-door salesperson, and it was amazing where you had so many doors slammed on your face and need to find a way through those doors. And that's been the career which ended up me, I can say, smashing or shattering the proverbial glass ceiling at a Fortune 100 company. And I became the youngest Indian to join the board of this $40 billion corporation. So we were three global business leaders who had studied in the best business schools in the world, like Michigan Business School, Ross School of Business, Tuck Business School. And we had both graduated from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Science Studies and SPJMR. So we said, we've done business around the world across 5 continents. Why not get global education to India? And that was our focal point, right? And we said, how are we going to do that? We said, let's focus on the 3E framework. This was a decade ago, right? And we wanted to make sure that the 3E was ethics, environment, and experiential learning. We got 60 global CEOs from top companies around the world like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Barclays, GE, Novartis to come and join us in this journey to support us and endorse what we were trying to do. And we said, what can we do differently? And given our global exposure, we said, why can't we get the best practices in global education to India? We studied a lot of business schools, and we realized that the faculty in these business schools who are teaching leadership have not been leaders, right? How can you sit and say how a CEO does when you've not been a CEO? So to us, that was a gap in the marketplace that we wanted practitioners to be delivering.
Vijay, you have worked as a manager in the corporate sector to getting into academia as a visiting faculty. And now you are the director of the PGDM and International Programs at UBS. So how, according to you, has the world of education evolved over the years, and what have you seen as a significant change that is taking place?
Well, if I look back at my academic journey, when I was a management student and compared to what it is today, there has been a massive transformation in the knowledge industry, especially in terms of curriculum development and delivery. In my view, the changes have profoundly impacted the overall teaching learning process. When it comes to curriculum development, as rightly said by Mr. Tarun, to bridge the industry-academia gap, top-class institutions including Universal Business School realize the value of collaborating with industry in designing the curriculum and to make it application-based. The industry-academia partnership, in my view, in terms of curriculum development, has actually gone a long way in making the student industry ready. Gradually, another significant change that we witness in the academic delivery system is the digitalization and use of technology. For instance, all top institutions, which includes Universal Business School, use learning tools such as simulations, gamification, and all these tools are going to be the real game changers. Since I'm from the industry and when I got into the space of academics, I was able to convince the student to look at the bigger picture. And I could really shift the focus and orient the mindset from merely thinking to strategic thinking. And the students started looking at the bigger picture.
You started your journey with a company called AstraZeneca, and you've worked with GE Healthcare for almost a decade. How do you think this work experience of yours come in handy when you were, as a faculty, you were imparting education, and now as a director for UBS?
Well, as I believe that many can transform business, but very few can transform lives. And transforming lives to me is more challenging than transforming business. At the same time, I also wanted to do something that I felt had a direct impact on young minds. And I found teaching to be a good fit. I found teaching profession is one such that can provide me access to positively influence the young mind.
Tarun, the whole seed of UBS came from the fact that you found a gap that was there with the students and the industry, as you rightly mentioned beforehand. How important do you think these students need to have a connection with the industry, knowing what is going on currently in the market, and to what extent does a professor's work experience enriches the student for this experiential learning that you mentioned?
I used to be a recruiter, right? When I was in the corporate world, I've gone and recruited from Cornell. I've gone and recruited from top institutes like Stern, and actually hired from Columbia Business School. And I would ask MBA graduate, some typical question was, tell me something about global markets. Tell me something about international business or international trade. And I wasn't happy with the answer that came back. So I said, how can we change the language of our students at Universal Business School? So when they come in, they get this $10 million, they have to invest it. When they finish the program, you know how they answer it? And this is taught by industry leading specialists, right? So the person who would lead this program is a treasurer of a French bank, right? He leads the program. Now, the students, when they've asked the same question I used to ask when I was recruiting international Ivy League students, the answer used to be something like this, right? I was given $10 million notional capital. I put $4 million in the Brazilian economy. When the Brazilian economy went down, I took that $4 million out. I put $1 million in the Japanese yen because Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, is raising interest rates. I put $1 million in the commodity markets in Australia because of inter-commodity boom between China and Australia. I decided to go long on e-commerce stocks like Alibaba and Baidu because they are competing with Amazon and Google. And with the final $1 million, I hammered the Indian rupee against the US dollar because the Indian government could not manage its current account deficit. Now, that's the kind of an answer I expect from a master's level student. You are a master's student. You've got to talk a different language. And that's what we do. So we connect the dots. They learn to be in the hot seat, very similar to a trader in Deutsche Bank, Frankfurt, or Citibank, New York. They are experiencing the same thing on a real-time basis. This is not some game. This is not some simulation. This is live experiences.
UBS believes in a concept called andragogy. What exactly is andragogy, if you can tell us to our viewers, and how important do you think andragogy is as a concept in today's world?
Theories of pedagogy are not expansive enough to capture the idea of andragogy, which I'm going to talk it, which is the art and science of teaching adults, right? Andragogy emphasizes on a practical approach to promote the development of each student, and it's based on 6 principles. The first principle is that adults are internally motivated and self-directed. My faculty's role is to facilitate the movement in this adult learning journey and to foster their motivation. So interactive classrooms are going to be key. Adults bring life experiences and personal interests, right? We all have interests. We bring it to the table. So our job as faculty is to encourage these adults to share their experiences, right? We want to learn their experiences and then reflect on the learnings. All adults are goal-oriented. They're not grade-oriented. They're not so bothered, what my grades are, but they want to make sure that they can really solve world problems, right? They want to make an impact in the world. So we need to make sure that we focus on the, hard skills, soft skills, deep domain knowledge that can unleash their learning in that sense so that they can achieve those goals. Then number 4, our students, all adults are relevance oriented, right? We need to tell them why they are studying a subject. What is the relevance in the real world? If you can't make those dots, you've lost the student. Adults are practical, so that's where experiential learning comes in, and I've been telling you about the wonderful work we are doing in experiential learning. So students have to try things, they have to experiment things, they have to experience it, they have to have an immersive learning, and they have to fail in the process rather than just to simply observe, right? That's what the traditional model was.
I would like to know how andragogy is beneficial to the students, because you have been very closely associated with the students, you have seen them progress. How do you think the professors are implementing andragogy today?
We have conceptualized many initiatives. To name a few, live and paid business consulting projects, experiential learning toolkits like Case Blazer, and you would be surprised to know that it's a 48-hour case study marathon. And like Mr. Tarun said, we do portfolio management via live trading sessions at our in-house Thomson Reuters Global Cross Asset Trading Room. We do Try Business Championship where students can actually design a product, and not just that, they are really required to run a marketing campaign. And to add seriousness to this, these are all compulsory annual activities we have incorporated in the academic calendar. All these initiatives enable students to develop the required managerial skills, to name a few: strategic thinking, critical thinking, problem solving. They do learn decision-making skills, they do learn team dynamics, time management, and most importantly, agility.
What are the kind of plans that you have for UBS? I know it's your brainchild, it's your baby, and you would like to nurture and nourish it further. I would like you to discuss some of the ideas that you have and how a student is at an advantageous position if he enrolls himself or herself to UBS at this point in time.
Over the longer term, I think we want to diversify into multidisciplinary thinking, which we've done with technology and management. We've also done with liberal arts and economics in our undergraduate programs. So we'd like to take it further to law and science and so on. And that's our journey to create a world-class university. The most important part, which is very passionate, is to create compassionate global leaders who are ethical, right? That's very important, and who have sustainability at their heart. So we are India's first green business school. So we truly believe that the environment is something which is our responsibility to take care of, protect, and grow, so that we create the business leaders of tomorrow who are going to not only make a lot of money, and that's fine, that's great. In fact, you must. We call it the triple bottom line. The first is, of course, profits. The second is our students need to focus on the society. And third, our students need to focus on the environment.
Tarun, I would like to know, from your own experience, do you also think that confidence is the key from door-to-door selling to now heading UBS and, have been part of so many businesses worldwide? What do you think a student should acquire in himself or herself to be prepared for the future? And do they need an MBA right now?
We are in a war today. It's called the COVID war. Right? And education is food for the brain, right? Education is the most critical and the most differentiating aspect, which will take you further. So when things go wrong, in fact, people actually go back because industry is not growing, jobs aren't there. What happens is you need to upgrade yourself to the next level. So actually, I've worked on Wall Street during the financial crisis, right? There were hordes of people after Lehman crash. They were all going to business schools because they said this is a great opportunity because it's going to be a longer recovery. So I think you've got to keep investing in yourself because that's the only investment. And I do agree with Vijay, confidence is the new currency. How do you get confidence? When you're armed with a body of knowledge, which you've actually experienced. That's where your competencies are built and your confidence comes in.
Thank you very much, Tarun. Thank you very much, Vijay, for this conversation. It was really insightful, and thank you for being part of this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.